Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, text 16, 17, and 18. Well, I guess we'll chant the whole thing once, and then maybe we'll just all chant just when anyone else chants. They should not chant 3 verses. We can just do them in order. One person does 1 verse, another person does another verse, and another person does a 3rd verse, and then you start again with the first. Okay. Right now, everyone can repeat. You don't have to repeat where I hear you, but you can repeat it at home. Ananta Vijayam Raja.
Ananta Vijayam Raja.
Putra Yudhishthiraha.
Kunti Putra Yudhishthiraha.
Nakula Sahadevascha.
Nakula Sahadevascha.
Sughosha Mani Pushpakal.
Sughosha Mani Pushpakal.
Kasyascha Parameshvara Saha.
Kasyascha Parameshvara.
Sikandi cha Maharataha.
Sikandi cha Maharataha.
Krishtadumno Viratascha.
Krishtadumno Viratascha.
Satyakischa Parajitaha.
Satyakischa Parajitaha.
Drupadeyascha.
Drupadeyascha.
Savasha Prithvi Pate.
Sarvasha Prithvipate.
Subhadrascha Mahabahu.
Subhadrascha Mahabahu.
Kankan Dadmu Pritak.
Kankan Dadmu Pritak.
So if you want to chant, just chant 1 verse, and then the next person chant the next, and everyone will repeat after you.
Ananta Vijaya Raja.
Ananta Vijayam Raja.
Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha.
Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha.
Nakula Sahadevascha.
Nakula Sahadevascha.
Sughosha Mani Pushpakau.
Sughosha Mani Pushpakau. Kasyascha Parameshvasa. Kasyascha Parameshvasa. Sikandi cha Maharataha. Sikandi cha Maharataha. Drishtadyumno Viratascha. Drishtadyumno Viratascha. Satyakischa Parajitaha. Satyakischa Parajitaha.
Drupadeyascha.
Drupadeyascha.
Sarvasa Prithvipate.
Sarvasha Prithvipate.
Saubhadrascha Mahabahu.
Subhadrascha Mahabahu.
Sankhan Dadamu Pratak.
Shankandam Dadamu Pritak.
Ananta Vijayam.
Ananta Vijayam.
Conch named Ananta Vijaya.
The conch named Ananta Vijaya.
Raja. The king. Kunti Putraha. The son of Kunti. Yudhishthira. Nakula. Sahadeva. And Osha Mani Pushpako. The conch is named Sugosha and Mani Pushpaka.
The conch is named Sugosha and Mani Pushpaka.
Kasyaha.
Kashya.
The king of Kasi.
the king of
the
Kashi,
king of Kashi,
Varanasi,
Varanasi,
Varanasi.
Varanasi,
Varanasi,
Cha,
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 and
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 Parama Ishu Asaha,
Parama
Ishu
Ishu
Ashaha,
Ashaha,
great archer,
the
the
great
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 archer,
archer,
archer.
Shikandi,
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 Cha,
Cha.
Cha,
Cha,
also,
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 Maharataha,
Maharata,
Maharataha,
one who can fight alone against thousands,
one who can
one
fight
who
alone
can
against
fight
thousands,
alone
Alone
against
against
thousands.
thousands.
Vishtadumnaha,
Rishtadimna,
Rishtadumna,
Vishtadumna,
Rishtadimna,
Rishtadumna,
Yumna,
the son of King Dropada,
the
the
son
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 of
of
King
King
Drupada.
Drupada,
Virataha,
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 Rata,
Pirata,
Virata,
the
Virata,
prince who gave shelter to the Pandavas while they were in disguise.
the
the prince who
prince who
gave
Prince
gave
who
shelter to
gave
the
shelter to the
shelter to the
Pandavas
Pandavas
while
while
they
Pandavas
they
were
were
in
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 disguise.
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 Cha,
Cha.
Cha,
Cha,
also,
also,
Also.
also,
Satyaki,
Satyaki,
Satyaki.
Satvaki,
Satyaki,
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 the same as Yudhisthira, the charioteer of Lord Krishna.
the
the
same
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 as
as
Duryodhana,
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 the
the
charioteer of
charioteer.
Lord
Lord
Krishna.
Krishna.
Cha,
Cha,
Cha.
Cha,
and
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 Parajitaha,
Aparajitaha,
Aparajitaha,
Parajitaha,
who had never been vanquished.
who
who had
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 never
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 been
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 vanquished.
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 Drupada,
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 the king of Panchala.
the
The
king of
king of
Panchala,
the
Panchala.
king of Panchala,
Drupadeyaha,
Draupadeyaha,
Upadaya,
sons of Draupadi.
the
The
sons
sons
of
of
sons of
Draupadi.
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 Cha,
Cha.
Cha,
Cha,
also,
Also.
also,
Savashaha,
Sarvashaha,
Sarvashaha,
Sarvashaha.
all,
all,
All.
all,
Itivipate,
Prithvirpate,
Prithvirpate.
Prithvirpate,
O king,
O
O
king,
king,
Bhadraha,
Saubhadra,
Subhadraha,
Abhimanyu, the son of
Obima,
Subhadra,
Abhimanyu,
Abhimanyu,
son
the
of
son of
son of Subhadra.
Cha,
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 Cha.
also,
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 Also.
Mahabahu,
Mahabahu.
Mahabahu,
mighty arm,
mighty
Mighty
arm,
mighty
arm.
armed,
Shankam,
Shankar,
Shankar.
Shankar,
conch shells,
conch
Conch
shell,
shells.
conches,
Dadmu,
Tadmo.
Tadmo,
Tadmo,
blue,
Blue.
blue,
Blue,
Pratak,
Pratak.
Pratak,
Tak,
Pratak,
Tak,
each separately.
Each
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 separately.
separately.
King Yudhisthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijay, and the Kula and Sahadev blew the Sugosha and Mani Pushpaka. That great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter, Shikandi, Drishtadumna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the sons of Draupadi, and others, O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. I don't know which one that is.
I like it.
Panchajanya.
Okay.
That was Yomataji's conscious seems. She's ready to fight. Pyari Prabhu looks like.
Yeah, so we're making a play out
And
of
we
it.
know who will win, Panchajanya.
Sanjaya informed King Dhritarashtra very tactfully that his unwise policy of deceiving the sons of Pandu and endeavoring to enthrone his own sons on the seat of the kingdom was not very laudable. The signs already clearly indicated that the whole Kuru dynasty would be killed in that great battle, beginning with the grandsire Bhishma down to the grandsons like Abhimanyu and others, including kings from many states of the world. All were present there and all were doomed. The whole catastrophe was due to King Dhritarashtra because he encouraged the policy followed by his sons. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Kauravani Pacharane Nivasesa Sunyavadi Prastachade Satarane. So, this particular verse, I'll read the verse again. King Yudhisthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijaya, and Nakula and Sahadev blew the Sugosha and Mani Pushpaka, the great archer, the king of Kasi, the great fighter, Sikandi, Drishtadyumna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, and the sons of Draupadi, and others, O king, such as the mighty arm, son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. So when this happened, it was a sign. Somehow, when the others blew their conch shells, they didn't get the same reaction when the Kauravas blew their conch shells. It didn't phase the Pandavas. But when the Pandavas blew their conch shells, the Kurus could understand this. Well, it says, I think maybe in the next verse, the next verse, which I will read soon. But why did this all happen? Because of Dhritarashtra. It's kind of like he was blind, and he was also spiritually blind. He was blind from birth. And his sons could see, but they were also spiritually blind. And I mean, if you let your sons, or you let your children do what they want to do, and that's it, then they're going to, not have a big fratricidal war, but they may not grow up as nice as if there's a saying, I think it's in the Bible, spare the rod and spoil the child. So if you don't, they're using a rod to hit the kids. Prabhupada says you can have a stick, but you just show it to them. You don't actually hit it. You don't actually use it. But you have to make rules and regulations. There's a foundation, what you can do, what you can't do. But Dhritarashtra was too attached to his sons that he didn't do it, especially with his eldest son, Duryodhana. He just allowed him to do all these really bad things, which he should have put his foot down in the very beginning. But because he just let him do what he wanted to do, no control, no restrictions, then he winds up being this very egotistical person, selfish person. He only cares about himself. He wasn't taught properly. His father didn't do a very good job. And it's his father's fault because he had the opportunity. He didn't just do these things. Duryodhana didn't just go and do this. He had it first. He got permission from his father. And his father could have been a little stronger and said no, but he didn't. And because of that, so many people were killed. Now you could look at it, it's Krishna's pastimes, which is true. But in Krishna's pastimes, there's so many different lessons that we can learn. So this is just one thing, is you just can't let your children do anything they want to do. And I think what the main thing I'm trying to get at is if we ever open the temple again, you don't let them run around, okay? Well, that was a joke. I mean, it's true. We don't want them running around. You have to watch your children. But at the same time, that they're not going to become, big demons just because they're running around. But you have to have a foundation. You have to have rules. You have to have boundaries, and they have to follow these things. So that's not what happened with, he was older. He's certainly older now. He was an adult, so you don't treat him the same as a child, but you still have to tell him what to do and what not to do. Your father is always your father, and you have to listen to your father, even if you are an adult. And if your father tells you something, you have to do it. At least that's more of a Vedic culture. So He didn't do it. So I am going to read the next verse. But before I read the next verse, does anyone have any questions on this verse or purport? I'll give you just a few more moments just in case you're saying it and you forgot to unmute yourself. Okay, so we're going to read the next verse, and we're not going to have everyone chant it, but you can chant it. I'll say one line and you can repeat one line. Sago Sho Datarastranam
Sugoshodatrashanam
Hidayani Vyadarayat
Hridayani Vidarayat
Nabascha Pritivim Chaiva
Nabascha
Nabhascha
Prativim
Prithivim
Chaiva
Chaiva
Tumulo Vyanunadayam
Tumulo Vyanunadayam
Tumulohayannadayam
Saha,
Shaha
that,
That.
That
Goshaha,
Goshaha.
Gosha
Goshaha
Vibration.
Vibration
Dhutarastranam,
Dhritarashtanam
Dhritarashtanam
of the sons of Dhutarashtra,
Of
of
the
the
of the
sons
sons of
of
sons of
Dhritarashtra
Dhritarashtra
Hridayani,
Hridayani.
Hridayani
hearts,
Hearts.
hearts
Hearts
Vyadarayat,
Vyadarayat
Vyadarayat
shattered,
Shattered
Shattered
Nabaha,
Nabha.
Nabhaha
the sky,
the
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 sky
sky.
sky
Shah,
Cha.
Shah
Shah
also,
also
also
Pritivim,
Prithivim.
Prithivim
the surface of the earth,
The
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 surface
surface of
surface
the
of the
earth
earth
Shah,
Shah
Cha.
also,
also
also
Eva,
Eva.
Eva
certainly,
certainly
Certainly.
Tumulaha,
Tumulaha.
Tumulaha
Tumulaha
uproarious,
Uproarious.
uproarious
Abhyanunadayam,
Abhyanunadayam
Abhayanunadayam
resounding.
resounding
resounding
So you don't have to repeat anything else now. Translation: the blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Purport. When Bhishma and the others on the side of Duryodhana blew their respective conch shells, there was no heart breaking on the part of the Pandavas. Such occurrences are not mentioned, but in this particular verse, it is mentioned that the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered by the sounds vibrating by the Pandavas' party. This is due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. One who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of the greatest calamity. The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. So now these are some signs, like we can learn just from reading Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic literatures that the sounds or the signs, there are so many different signs that mean so many different things. You know, when there's the cows passing on one particular side, or donkeys are braying, that's a bad sign. And there's so many things when you're quivering, and it's different for the men and for the women. The quivering on the right side for the man, I don't even remember, but might be good. Left side is a bad sign, and the women are the opposite. Anyway, there's so many little things that we can tell, good signs and bad signs. So this is particularly a very bad sign for the sons of Dhritarashtra. They knew it. Their hearts were shattered. They felt really bad. Something is really wrong. And maybe they didn't know exactly what it was, but they must have had a pretty good idea that this is not a good sign. I mean, they did so many horrible bad things, trying to kill these young brothers, 5 brothers who were very, very pious, very good, and they also learned the military arts, and they're so great. But they couldn't stand them because they're envious of them, at least Duryodhana in particular. So one person, I think it was when Duryodhana was born, that they did somebody said that he should be killed immediately, just as a baby, because he's going to just cause so many problems. But of course they didn't do it. And of course we could say they didn't do it because it's also Krishna's pastimes, whatever. But it's like really hard to kill a baby. Anybody who has a baby and somebody, even if they're the greatest astrologer and they can see that this person is going to do so much havoc, kill it. Nobody would kill it, at least not nowadays. Of course, thousands of years ago, people may have been doing things like that, because I think of Hitler. Why, if we could have killed Hitler, wouldn't that have been a better thing? Uh, so you can think that way. In retrospect, you can see so many things you could have done differently. But for Duryodhana, it was actually told, even at the time of his birth. But Dhritarashtra was attached, and it seems like a normal thing. You're not going to kill. What if what if it's wrong? But in any case, Dhritarashtra was uh, was the father of Duryodhana and his 99 other brothers. And most of them, I don't know, may have been one of them that wasn't so bad. I think that one of them may not have been so bad. So 1 out of 100, is okay. Not too bad anyway. But, so they're going to get reactions for all their sinful activities. And they can kind of tell just by hearing the conch shells blowing like that. Now, it's also nice. Trust was shattered by the sons of Vishnu. This is due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. So someone who actually takes shelter of Lord Krishna has no more fear. Fear comes because we're not taking shelter of Krishna. We're taking shelter of Krishna. What is there to be afraid of? It's just Krishna. I mean, even somebody's coming to kill you, you see Krishna's coming to take me back. If you're actually, or Krishna will protect me. With Prahlad Maharaj, I'm a soul surrendered to him. If he wants to kill me, nobody can save me. And if he wants me to live, nobody can kill me. I'm surrendered completely to him. Whatever he wants will happen. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not this body. I'm the soul. So because the Pandavas felt that way, they had no fear. The results are up to Krishna. And we have to feel the same way. We have to do what we have to do. And we have to do it as if the results were up to us. In other words, if the results are up to Krishna, then I don't really have to make much of an endeavor. No, we have to endeavor as if the results were up to us, but we should know at every moment the results are up to Krishna. Whatever Krishna wants, that's all. But I have to try my very best to achieve the proper result, the result of pleasing Krishna, distributing more books, making more devotees. We have to make the effort as if it was up to us, but at the same time, know that it's up to Krishna. So it's Pandavas was just so fortunate, and we can also be that fortunate by having this confidence in Krishna, having the faith in Krishna. One Prabhupada said, faith is unalloyed trust in something sublime. unalloyed trust in something sublime. That's faith. So we can have this faith in Krishna. Complete trust in Krishna. Krishna, I'm yours. You can do with me as you like. When Prabhupada came here, he went through so much trouble, had 2 heart attacks, and finally arrived in Boston, and he wrote this poem, that I'm your puppet. You can do with me as you like. You can make me a success or a failure as you like. If you want me to dance, make me dance, make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance. I'm a puppet. I'm just doing everything, whatever you like. I'm doing this because this is what my Guru Maharaj asked me to do. So I'm doing it. Whether I succeed or I fail, that's up to you. That's not up to me. But I'm going to make the effort as if it was up to me. And Prabhupada came not knowing what Krishna's plan was at all. And several times he would go and check to see when the next boat was going to, when the boat was coming, and then so that he can go back on it. He checked different things, different times. But he never went. He kept trying. But if it got too bad and I can't take it any longer, then I'll go. But it never got that bad. Even though it got real bad, he still could take it. He kept trying because he knew this is what I'm supposed to do. We have to have that confidence in what we're doing. And we should know what, I mean, I could tell you in the beginning, every devotee pretty much that I know understood that whatever, I'm not trying to tell you to listen to me. I'm not saying it for that, but every devotee would listen to the temple president. The temple president gave them an instruction. We accepted that that was coming from Krishna. And we did it. And then, of course, when you get older, more mature, then if a temple president tells you something that's definitely bogus, you know it's bogus. But in the beginning, when you don't know anything, you follow your authority, whoever your authority happens to be. And of course, in those days, it was the temple president. Everyone lived in the temple. And you follow your authority, and you're protected. You're right, rightly situated. Of course, once you learn the philosophy, and then if your authority tells you to do something very, like for instance, against the regulated principles, then you know, I'm not doing that. Because I know better. But generally, when you follow the authority, you'll be protected. And we thought that this is coming from Krishna. Krishna's giving me this to do. Everything, anything, whatever it was. We saw it coming from Krishna. So we have to try to see like that this is Krishna's service. And I'm going to do it. And not be so puffed up that thinking I know what to do better than anybody else. We have to follow authority. And the Pandavas, of course, they had no problem because Krishna was right there. Sometimes we may not be so sure what I'm supposed to do. Then we can consult with senior devotees and ask them what we should do. But we shouldn't just consult with somebody who's going to say what we want to hear. We should consult with someone who's a genuinely senior devotee. And when we feel Krishna has given me this service, I just read, where was it? Just read about with Srila Prabhupada when he was, the first instruction Bhakti Siddhanta gave him was to preach this to the English-speaking people. And he got some different, maybe little instructions here and there, but he had maybe not even instructions directly towards him, but he heard Bhakti Siddhanta and met Bhakti Siddhanta. But the last time he heard from Bhakti Siddhanta, he specifically asked, that there's so many of these sannyasis who do some personal service for you. is there anything you would like me to do? And he said at that time, again, which is the last instruction, preach to the English-speaking people. So now he knew this is Bhaktisiddhanta's instruction. Then he heard, I think it was, with a V, and he comments on Bhagavatam and Vishwanatha Chakravarti. That's who it was. And he liked his comments. And he says that you cannot separate the guru from his instructions. So he gives you some instruction, you have to follow it. So he took that to heart, and he came all the way, 70 years old, no money, to America to try to preach this to the English-speaking people. And because he did that, he showed Krishna, he's given it everything, not just in 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 weeks, for a year. And then finally he got some results, but he kept trying, never giving up. So we have to follow in that same attitude, same mindset as Prabhupada, as the Pandavas. And then we can become free from fear, and we can be positive that we're doing the right thing. No one else is positive what they should be doing. The karmis, they think they should do this, and then they change and do that, and they don't know what they should do. Well, they don't even think about what they should do. But we can tell what we're supposed to do. Very simple. Basic things are the regulated principles, and then associating with devotees and rendering service. I mean, we have a temple, and whatever you can do to support that temple, that's rendering service to Krishna. And also distributing books. Specifically, Prabhupada really liked his books being distributed. Okay, so now that's the last verse in purport. 19. Anyone have any comments or questions on what I read or what I said?
So age-wise, Dhritarashtra was senior to Pandu, right?
Yes.
So in a sense, I think he felt cheated off the throne because he was the older brother,
Right.
I guess.
Right. He felt if he only wasn't blind,
Right.
then he would have been the king.
King, and his
But you
son would have
can't
been
be
the
because you're
rightful
blind.
heir.
So,
Right.
you know, he didn't want to accept that fact. If there was I remember, I don't remember it so well, but when I was a very young kid, I'm going to guess maybe 10 years old, there was a record album that, I don't know, my mother or father got, and it was actually, it was made by prisoners in prison. And I mean, it was an album. It wasn't so much songs, but they're talking about different things. And this one person talked about if, and how if I didn't do this, if I didn't do that, you know, it's like you can go by if, and it just, everything would be different, but it's not. He is blind. He can't be king, and he has to accept that his younger brother will be king. But that was hard for him. Yeah, it's true. So he has a little bit of a reason why he's upset, but he's blind. How are you
Right.
going to
And
go
even
out
his
in
younger
front of the
brother,
army with your sword and your horse and you're charging and you can't see anything?
but even his younger brother gave up the throne. That must have made him feel like here's an opportunity for my son, because my son is not blind. You know?
Right. But his younger brother was the king, not him. His
Right,
sons are
right.
senior. There's a whole, proper etiquette.
I know, but in his mind, he's still thinking, I was the older brother, so my son should have been king, you know.
Right. Yeah, you can always rationalize, and there's more of a reason in his case, because he is the
Right.
elder brother. If he
He
was the
is the
younger
elder
brother
brother.
thinking, I should have been born earlier,
Right.
you know, but it's wrong. He's wrong. He should just accept it, you know. I mean, his kids can get upset with him as to why is he blind? Why are you blind? You just ruined my life because you're blind. You know?
Actually, it says that he did concede to Yudhishthira becoming king, but then they tried to burn them down in the house, you know, and when they thought
He
that he
gave
was
permission for them to do these things.
right, right. And then he put Duryodhana on the throne, and then Duryodhana was not willing to give up the throne at that point.
I know, but why would he agree to kill these 5 Pandavas,
Pandavas, right?
innocent and pure, just because his son, please, can we do it? Please, can we do it? Can't we do it? Please, please, please. Okay, do it. You know, it's like, it's ridiculous. There's no way. I can see, going to buy you some candy and you're begging like that. Okay, I'll do it just so you'd stop. But not when it comes to killing innocent, saintly people. What is
I
he
know.
doing to convince him? It's
That
so
shows how,
bad.
that shows how evil-hearted he was. Yes.
Right, right. They both were. And
Right.
now he's getting a reaction. He's hearing from Sanjaya what is going on in this battlefield, and their hearts are shattered. He's getting the scene. It's nice. It's nice. Krishna's not just letting them die immediately. He's letting them suffer some. You're gonna go to the electric chair or whatever they do nowadays, and they bring you out, and you're just thinking about it. And this whole time you're suffering and you're suffering. So they're getting some advance notice. They're gonna be dead very soon in this battle. They got the signs. And Dhritarashtra is also seeing this. He's also hearing it, not seeing it, but he's hearing it from Sanjaya, who's seeing it. And so he's also suffering because now, why did I do this? Why? But it's too late now. You already did it. What is that? You made your bed and now you got to sleep in it or something like that.
But I think even in the battlefield, he does not want Duryodhana to reverse because I think in one of the verses it says, Dharma kshetre, Kurukshetre. Dhritarashtra is almost afraid that Duryodhana might change his mind on account of the influence of the holy place. So he doesn't want him to change his mind even at the last minute, Dhritarashtra.
He's a fool. Better late than never.
Right.
They weren't even asking for much. 5
Yes,
villages.
5 villages.
That's like nothing.
Yeah.
That's all they wanted, just so they can rule something. Of course, those villages would have prospered so much more than the
I
Kuru
know, but then
dynasty.
Duryodhana says, I won't even give a pin of land, right?
Right. Not as much land as I could stick a pin in.
Yeah.
So if you can't stick a pin in it, yeah, you can have that. That little piece. It's not enough to stick a pin in. You can have that. Yeah, it was so cold. They were horrible people, horrible people. And we see people today that are horrible. And we see good people too.
We have one right here who's trying to turn the elections.
I don't even want to get into that guy anymore. He's a good example of a Dhritarashtra. Anyway, Okay, we got, anybody else have any comments or questions? Okay, I'm going to read text 20. I'm just, you don't have to repeat. Atavyavasti tandristva datarastram kapi davaja pravite shastra sampate danu udyamya pandava rishikesham tadavakyam idam aha mahipate. At that time, Arjuna, we know what's going to happen now. The son of Pandu, seated in the chariot, bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra, drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Krishna these words. So this seems like the beginning of Arjuna's little doubts. And now the whole Bhagavad Gita is going to get spoken. Purport. The battle was just about to begin. It is understood from the above statement that the sons of Dhritarashtra were more or less disheartened by the unexpected arrangement of military force by the Pandavas, who were guided by the direct instructions of Lord Krishna on the battlefield. The emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna is another sign of victory because Hanuman cooperated with Lord Ram in the battle between Ram and Ravana, and Lord Ram emerged victorious. Now both Ram and Hanuman were present on the chariot of Arjuna to help him. Lord Krishna is Ram himself, and wherever Lord Ram is, his eternal servitor Hanuman and his eternal consort Sita, the goddess of fortune, are present. Therefore, Arjuna had no cause to fear any enemies whatsoever. And above all, the Lord of the senses, Lord Krishna, was personally present to give him direction. Thus, all good counsel was available to Arjuna in the matter of executing the battle. In such auspicious conditions, arranged by the Lord for his eternal devotee, lay the signs of assured victory. So these are, there's so many signs of victory for the Pandavas. I'll read the translation again. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot, bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. So this is the little something Krishna put into Arjuna's mind so that the whole Bhagavad Gita can be spoken. He draws his chariot up, and then that's the whole Bhagavad Gita. And I don't know what the whole army is doing. They're just sitting around waiting. What is going on here? What are we doing? When are we going to start fighting? You know, he's talking for like 2 hours. You know, what are we doing? Can you get me some water, whatever? But of course, because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, he can control everybody's minds, let them think whatever they want to think, and make sure that everyone stays put until after this conversation is finished. And that's the whole Bhagavad Gita, the song of God. So the sons of Dhritarashtra were more or less disheartened by the unexpected arrangement of military force by the Pandavas, who were guided by the direct instructions of Lord Krishna on the battlefield. So they're going out. The Kurus are thinking, the Pandavas got nothing. They don't have any kingdom. They don't have any army. They have nothing. So we can kill them. And they went with so many people to fight the Pandavas. And then they see that the Pandavas also have a lot of people on their side. Not only do they have a lot of people on their side, but their whole arrangement for this battle was like so amazing that it scared the sons of Dhritarashtra, that how are we going to do it? And it's because Krishna was on their side that they knew exactly what to do. Even in the battle, Krishna is telling Arjuna to, okay, shoot off, kill this person, but cut his head off, shoot his head into a certain place, into the lap of his father. And then and his father was meditating, sees a head in his lap, throws it on the ground, and his father's head cracks into pieces because he had a benediction. Whoever's makes his head touch the floor or the ground, their heads will crack and they'll die. So Krishna knew this. Nobody else knew this. Krishna knows everything. Even the sun. Okay, when the sun, they're covering. What's his name? Virat. Jayadratha. Was it Jayadratha? Somebody? Yes. No. When he was promised to kill Jayadratha or Jayad.
Yes, Prabhuji, Jayadratha. Yes.
Okay. He said that he will kill him. And so or else he's going to give up his own life. So the other party was great. All we have to do is protect him until the sun sets, and that's it. So they put all their Maharathis, all their great warriors protecting him the whole time. Then finally the sun set, and Jayadratha looked up, and Krishna said, shoot him now. And he shot him. And after that, it was just a cloud. The sun didn't really set. The sun was still there, and then the sun set. So Krishna knew, or Krishna made that sun go back up. I don't know how it worked, but the sun was not set at that time, but it appeared that it was set. And therefore he felt victorious. The Kauravas felt victorious, but actually they weren't victorious because at that time he was able to kill Jayadratha, and he didn't have to give up his own life. And they lost this very valuable person on their side. So, having somebody like that on your side that knows everything, what's going to happen, knows everything, and telling you what to do, it's really, and giving you complete protection, even though he's not going to fight.
And
But
even
he still
stopping
fought.
even stopping the sun from setting if he has to.
Yeah, I mean, they said there was like a cloud, but they didn't, everyone assumed the sun set, but then the cloud moved and the sun was still there, and then it set. So how he did it, Krishna knew. He put the cloud there and let everybody think. He's the master of illusion. Yogeshwara. He's the mystic. He's the master of all mystic powers. So he can do anything. So he does anything for his devotee. So he did so much for Arjuna. There was no way. And he agreed not to fight, but he fought. He picked up, because that's another thing. Duryodhana told Bhishma that you're too affectionate to Arjuna, and therefore you don't want to kill him. And so Bhishma says, I'll kill Arjuna tomorrow, or unless Krishna breaks his promise and then he starts fighting, then I won't be able to kill him. So Bhishma was fighting Arjuna so powerfully that Arjuna was going to be defeated. So Krishna ran towards Bhishma. He picked up a broken chariot wheel and he went towards Krishna went towards Bhishma. Krishna went towards Bhishma with this broken chariot wheel to hit him with this chariot wheel. And then Bhishma said, no, I have no problem with you. And then he stopped fighting, but Krishna broke his promise. And Prabhupada says Krishna would rather be known as the protector of his devotees than the great moralist who never breaks his solemn vow. He don't care about his own vow. He cares about his devotees. So Bhaktavatsal, he's the most, that cares more than anybody. So this is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. and he's on the side of Arjuna. Even that, he gave Arjuna and Duryodhana the chance to whoever he sees first the next day, he will give them the choice to either have him, Krishna, on their side or all his armies. So Duryodhana wanted all the armies, and Arjuna wanted Krishna. So Duryodhana went to his bed before he woke up when Krishna was sleeping and sat right on right on the head of the bed, on the side of the bed. So when he opens his eyes, he'll see him first, and then he can get all his armies. And Arjuna went and stood on the by his feet, more humble, by Krishna's feet. But when Krishna got up, he didn't open his eyes. He just immediately sat up, and then he opened his eyes. Now, whether he was pretending to be asleep, of course, even if he's asleep, he knows everything that's going on. So Duryodhana was a little upset because now Arjuna was going to pick the armies. That's what Duryodhana thought. Actually, in one sense, Arjuna maybe could have picked the armies and still Krishna would be on his side. Even if he's on Duryodhana's side, he'd be doing things for Arjuna. But that's a little sneaky. But he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to have the armies. And Arjuna picked Krishna. And Duryodhana was really happy that Arjuna picked Krishna because now he has all the armies. But either way, Arjuna was going to win because that's Krishna's desire. But of course, Krishna knows, Arjuna knows, what's the use of anything in this world? Krishna is the supreme controller. He can control everything. So better I have him on my side. And of course, by having him on the side, what is in the end of the Bhagavad Gita? Wherever Krishna, the master of all mystic powers, and Arjuna, the great archer, there'll always be victory, extraordinary opulence, power, something else, I think, I don't know. But it'll always be auspicious, so wherever Krishna is. So we have to try to stay with Krishna and do whatever Krishna tells us to do. We're not so pure that we always know what he's telling us in our heart. But as we keep following the instructions that he is giving, either through his representative or through Antiyami, the Lord in the heart, we just follow these instructions. Gradually we'll get purified, and then we'll be able to follow the instructions of the Lord in the heart. Okay. Any comments or questions? I went over a lot today. I don't usually do so many verses, but it's not so much philosophy. It's mostly just the setting. Nobody has anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat. This is Omio. I have
it was Omio. Hope you don't give me one of them hard questions I can't answer.
No, I don't have any question, Prabhu. I have a realization to share.
Oh, okay.
About why Krishna took weapon, breaking his own promise. So one reason is obvious that you just gave, that he wanted to protect Arjuna, and another reason, I heard it from my father, said like Bhishmadev, who is also a devotee of Krishna, he made a promise. Okay, Krishna, I would like to see how Bhakta Vatshali were. So this is my promise that I will make you take weapon. So Krishna, one hand, of course, he wanted to protect Arjun. Also, he wanted to keep, respect, keep the promise of his devotee intact.
Right.
So he broke his own promise.
Right.
That's another thing.
Right. If he wanted to be Bhishma, he wanted to keep what he said to be true. So he was going to kill Arjuna, or Krishna had to break his promise. So please to please to make his devotees' words come true, he did it. Yeah, that's another reason, right? Thank you.
And Bhishma is a military man, and he liked Krishna to see like military person, like fight in a fighting mood.
Yes, yes, because he was a kshatriya. Nice
Yeah.
to see Krishna in that mood. Yeah. I hear somebody, I don't know what they're saying. Anyway, Krishna consciousness is so nice.
You can say that again.
Krishna consciousness is so nice.
Thank you. I knew you would say that.
I follow instructions. Okay, I guess we can end here. Let's offer our obeisances to all the
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So just for fun, what we learned today, right? I would like to post some questions if I would like everyone to answer.
Uh-oh.
Well, this we didn't learn today. I mean,
yeah,
I
this
know
is
what
not
it
from
is.
today.
You can answer, Prabhu. Everyone can answer.
No, but I'm saying, it says, you said what we learned today. It says, what is the conch shell name of Lord Krishna?
Yeah, I think everybody knows that answer.
Panchajanya.
Yeah, please answer. Please
So
answer.
none of
Vote.
the, none
Please
of
vote
the above.
yourself.
None of the
How do you
above.
do it yourself? Everyone could do it themselves?
Yes, yes.
I don't know how to do it.
Post it one more
I
time
click
because I'm
on
not
it.
seeing
I'm
it.
clicking on it. Can everyone click on it?
Yeah,
Yes.
there is an option you can click and submit.
What
Oh,
is the
each
conch
one?
shell name?
Can you do one more time, Paul? Okay. I got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, please don't speak. You answer yourself.
What's the conch shell name?
None of I don't
Oh,
see
yeah,
any
okay. I
answer
made
yet.
a mistake. If you make a mistake, can you go back?
There's a button called Previous Mataji on the bottom, I think. So you can go back.
Oh.
The question number 4 is tricky. You need to select all the answers. Select all the choice.
Okay.
I don't even see.
Submitted.
I might have gotten one.
Who did the instruction?
For one, I don't think I selected everything.
Hey, no talking during class.
Are you seeing the results, Pyari?
No, the result is with me only, so I can publish. So we have 1 minute 10 seconds left.
I have one comment when everything is finished though. So where's the results?
No. Yeah, we have more 40 seconds.
Oh, okay. How can I go up more?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, do you get any extra point for answering first?
Yeah,
even if you're wrong?
Yeah.
Is Omeo seeking the prize for that one?
All right, 5 seconds more.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
One. Happy New Year.
All right. Okay. The result. You can see that, right? Who's that? Okay, I see some wrong answer too.
So the red is the right answer?
No, I mean what they selected. So what is the council name of Lord Krishna? It is Panchajanya. So everyone selected none of the above. That's correct. What is the council name of Arjuna? It is Devadatta. So some of the selected none of the above. Three devotees selected none of the above. It's Devadatta is the correct answer. What is the council name of Nakula? Nakula is Manipuspaka,
yeah.
or Sughosha.
Sughosha, yeah.
It's Sughosha, correct, right? Manipuspaka is Sahadev, and
Sahadeva.
Ananta Vijaya is Yudhishthir Maharaj. So the Sughosha is correct answer. What is the signs of victory of Pandava? This is there from verse number 1.1 to 1.11, all the verses. So Arjuna is a great warrior. It's not a correct answer. It's Yudhishthir Maharaj is a Dharmara. This is also not correct answer. So Krishna personal present confirms victory, correct. Goddess of fortune. When Krishna is there, goddess of fortune is there. That's correct answer. Kurukshetra venue. That's correct. Hanumanji on the flag. That is also correct. And Agni Deva's chariot given to Arjuna. That is also correct. So these two answers. Arjuna is a great warrior and Yudhishthira is Dharmaraj. That's not correct answer. What is the significance of name Dhananjaya? So Dhananjaya, it's name of Arjuna because Arjuna helped Yudhishthira Maharaj to fetch wealth for different sacrifices. We discussed this yesterday. So these two are not correct answer. It's not name of Krishna for sure. I mean, okay. And then, yeah, this Pyari Prabhu discussed today, like Srila Prabhupada get instruction from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to preach in Western countries. And last one is, what is the other name of Bhima? Bhima, other name is Bikodara, not Poundra. Poundra is his council name. And last one is, council is a symbol of Vishnu. Okay, not the Lakshmi. I hope everyone enjoyed the last moment quiz. So I try to get this quiz every day as I listen the class and put the questions. I will try my best to put it in every day. Thank you. Pyari, you want to say something?
Omeo, how did you do?
I think I got everything right. No, I did not. But I answered before everyone.
What is it?
He answered before everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
How do
that's
you
all
know you
that
answered
counts.
before everyone?
Okay, those who answered wrong, I can see who, but they have to buy one Bhagavatam set.
I answered everything right except your multiple choice. I selected the first three. That's all. Most important.
Prabhu, what's the benefit of buying Bhagavatam set?
Your spiritual benefit, Prabhu.
Now you're joking, Prabhu. No.
It's $250 benefit for the temple.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, that's not even true because we have to pay a lot for the book. So but anyway, thank you all. This is good. So you're going to try and do this every day.
I'll try my best, Prabhu.
That's going to be
I'm
really
typing
hard.
the question as speakers talk.
Wow.
You mean now you have to pay attention, Rasa?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, shucks. Can't take a snooze during class, huh?
Well, you can't just turn it on and not show your face and
Pretend you're listening.
and just walk around without your video on, and then come back and make everyone think you attended.
Hey, I got 10 out of 10, except for that multiple choice I told you.
That's not 10 out of 10.
How's it 10? There's
Well, whatever.
There's only 8 questions.
8 questions. Okay, then 8 out of 8.
You can't even, you may have got 10, you don't know math, that's for sure.
Hey, I don't know math, but I know enough of the Bhagavad Gita, I guess.
But you don't have to know math, you only have to know Krishna.
Krishna, that's it.
And you
That's of Krishna. 1 + 1 = 2 1.
Okay, anyway, thank you all very much. That's all for our obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord.
Kalpatarubyascha kripasindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
His Grace Pyari Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Jai Tulsi.